Hey, this is Greg from GMH Audio. Today we're going to look at the anatomy of a progressive metal song and break down Kill Castle by Effuse. Effuse is a progressive metal band from here in Atlanta, Georgia. The song Kill Castle is cool because it starts off really pretty and kind of ambient and has some really dynamic sections, but then goes all the way to the heaviest parts of the album with breakdowns and layered screaming vocals. And I kind of want to show you how we get from A to B with that. How do we go from this pretty clean arpeggio part to this super heavy breakdown and make it sound like it's all coherent, like it's all part of the same song? So let's pop into Pro Tools, and here is the session for the Effuse album. So I'll play you the beginning of the song. It starts off with this clean guitar part. So that's this track Twin. It's called Twin because it was recorded with a Fender Twin reverb, and it's stereo. It's actually different performances on the left and right, and I just combine them into one stereo track to keep things organized. And then that transitions into this next section, which is this other Twin track right here. And that has this fade in on it right here. I did with this trim plugin. And we have another guitar part coming in. So here we have another stereo twin reverb track, and we also have this mono deluxe track, which was a blues deluxe. And you could hear a lot of these tracks are really heavily affected, kind of ambient sounds. We also have the bass and the drums coming in. If we look up at the bass, there's actually 3 bass tracks, and right now during this section, 2 of them are muted. So what's going on here with the bass is this track up here that's playing is the main clean tone. Sounds like this. And later in their song, we have these other 2 that come in. It's the same performance, just copied onto other tracks with different sounds. We have bass sans, which is running through a sans amp. It's got more of an aggressive character, and we have bass distortion, which is kind of a lo-fi distorted thing. In order to control the character of the bass, I would bring these tracks in and out to go from my clean sound to my distorted sound. And we also have vocals coming in down here. Later on, we start stacking up more vocal layers, but here's really simple. Just one track. It's pretty affected, but it's a single track vocal. You can hear when I stop the song, the delays and reverbs on the vocals trailing off. That's what all these tracks are. So we have 2 reverb tracks, a short delay, a long delay, a throw delay, which is side chained to duck underneath the vocals and kind of come out when the vocals stop, and 3 doubler tracks to give a stereo spread. And all of these different vocal tracks are being sent to those, and I'm automating the levels sending to those tracks for different sections of the song. That section continues for a while, and then coming out of it, we have this little break where the vocals go through this effects track that have a little bit more.
What's your
that's going through this flanger in addition to everything else that's going on to give it extra spaciness. And we go to another stereo twin reverb track on the guitars for a slightly different variation on the same kind of texture from the intro. And on this one, the left and right parts are playing pretty different things, which starts to make things sound a little more chaotic and starts the buildup of intensity that's going to go into the heavy sections that come later. Lots of delay on those two. We still have clean bass, and we're still on a single track vocal line, but this time processed slightly differently than in the intro. So coming towards the end of this section is when we get into the first truly loud part of the song. And we're coming out of the single track vocal. It's double tracked on that effects track for that spacey sound. And then we're going to hear now a triple track vocal. So we have stereo doubles down here, and we have the center single vocal. We're going to have a lead guitar part come in. We're going to have these distorted rhythm guitar parts come in, and we're going to have the distorted bass tracks come in. Although it's a big transition, it's still supposed to sound like a buildup of intensity rather than a punch into a new section. And the key to that is this short little transition where we have these doubled vocals and we have these rhythm guitars that actually come in slightly before the downbeat. So then this is now the new kind of standard for the feel. We go into other sections which have even more layered vocals. Here we still have a single track main, stereo doubles, and then one and then two layers of stereo harmonies as well. Another key here is there's always something interesting new happening whenever there's a section change. So here the vocals end and we go into this new section, and the focus then goes to this lead guitar part, which is really heavily affected, tons of delay. A pretty unique sound, so that's going to draw your ear from the vocals. The key is to always have somewhere that your ear is being led, something popping in that's new with every section to grab your attention and make things flow together. So we have a section change there, vocals come back in, and then we go into another lead guitar part. And this is going to lead into what is the start of the heavy section of the song.
Keep growing.
So now we're full on metal. We have these screaming vocals, they're quadruple tracked. So there's a main, there's a double, and then there's stereo doubles as well. So 4 tracks total. And hopefully the sound from this section, we came all the way from here. And at no point was there a particularly jarring thing. It seemed to kind of flow naturally and feel like that's the song of flow. And that's the goal of something like this. I also want to show this little delay part at the very end. I love a good hooah. And now we're back into this chill ambient section. That's more of a jarring transition intentionally to kind of reset the song back at close to the level it started at. We have the twin reverb guitars, we have the distorted bass dropping out and being automated down a little quieter. It's another big scene change, and then it's going to build up again all the way to the outro of the song. There's Kill Castle by Effuse. Check it out on Spotify if you like what you heard. They have a whole EP of cool stuff like this. Hopefully that gives you an idea how a prog metal song is kind of structured, how you can take something with all these drastic feels and put it together into something that is cohesive.